Take your career to the next level. The University of South Florida, St. Petersburg is offering a master's degree in digital journalism and design. Do the entire program from home and complete it in as little as 1 year. For more information, email journalism@usf.edu or call 727-873-4544. The cost is reasonable. The experience is invaluable.
Ladies, if you're over 50, the best is yet to come. It is time to embrace life's next chapter with passion, purpose, and confidence. Let's have some fun and live our best lives by hearing inspirational stories from women who have succeeded. And let's add a spark with important information on navigating our post-50s life. This is the Fierce, Feisty, and 50-Plus podcast with your host, television personality, social influencer, and the winner of 5 national pageant titles, Sierra Patricia Scott.
Hi, everyone. We have such an interesting show for you today. In our Wisdom Warriors, we talk to a woman who gives you great advice on how to make social media your best friend. And we meet a doctor who now has a national TV show in our Women on a Mission. In our Women on a Mission segment, we focus on women who've not only had incredibly successful careers, but over the age of 50, they're still dreaming bigger dreams. They're still achieving even higher goals. And we have a woman that is doing just that. 64-year-old Dr. Rhea Rogers is joining us now, and she was an OBGYN, then kind of changed and pivoted and decided to focus on anti-aging and functional medicine. And now, I can't believe this, is doing a national TV show, and she's one of the hosts of Aging Untold. Dr. Rogers, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're so fascinating. You have changed technically. I mean, it kind of is all the same, but not. You've pivoted a couple times. What encouraged you to take those risks?
Well, you know, I always wanted to be a physician, and I did the traditional medicine, and through having the breast cancer myself and looking for other answers is where I discovered functional and cellular medicine, and the evidence was so overwhelming, compelling that I transitioned into that. So I still do functional and cellular medicine, treating chronic conditions for men and women. And then the Aging Untold show came because of Catherine Ambrose, who's my patient, and her mother and her husband and all these other people and all that. And it really was just a godsend that he put us all together. We all clicked and we're all going, wow, here we are. So I'm still doing a combination of both.
I think it's great that you're able to do two things and two really big things that are helping people. I mean, that's just amazing. Was it hard to kind of pivot from being an OBGYN? Was it hard to do that? And then is it hard to pivot into television?
Well, from the OBGYN standpoint, I got to the point where I was giving people both options, the insurance-based and the non-insurance-based. They wanted the non-insurance-based because of what it did, and it told them why they were going through what they were going through until they found out insurance didn't pay for it. So, and then it got to the point where, you know, do no harm. And so the treatment that I would tell you, it changed because I knew what was going on, and it's not the Band-Aid. So that was one thing. And so that's where my primary focus is now, trying to really help people to understand their why, because there's always a reason why things are happening at a simple level. So that's where my focus is. And the aging part is just another journey that is integrated. So I'm doing both, you know, so the finding your why has so much to do with how you age.
That is absolutely true. And that was one of the things that, you know, I don't want a Band-Aid. I want to know the root cause and what can I do for the root cause rather than just cover it over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's really going on in your system and all that, of course, it accelerates as you get older because you don't have the same substrates and all that. And we just teach people, that's why this show is for everyone, even 20-year-olds, because we're telling them about the decisions they make now that are going to help them dictate how they age.
Now, what made you go into medicine in the first place? I'm just curious.
When I was about 3 years old, I never forget, my grandfather had leukemia. And I just remember he was not going to make it. I remember the doctors were so like cold and callous and so insensitive. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be a doctor so I could be nicer. You know, now I changed what kind of doctors I was going to be, but that was held from age 3. And I just always wanted to. I actually when you have people who are visionaries in your life and they tell you things you don't understand it. I was told by Dr. Maya Angelou when I was in junior high, because I know her as Auntie Maya. She's always told me, she said, "There's a balm in Gilead, and you're going to be that balm." And I didn't know what that meant until later on years to find out, wow, you're a healer. And it's all now coming to pass. I'm like, wow, do people see things I didn't know?
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's a real talent. And I agree with you. It's nice to have a caring physician. It does make a huge difference. And that's neat that it triggered you to kind of do that.
Yeah.
Now, did you face challenges? Because as a African American female going into medicine, was that harder? Did you have bigger challenges, or just being a female in general, was that an issue?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay.
So I just think throughout life, a lot of people, I have one of my good friends in medical school, she was Asian and she didn't understand and all that. She's like, but as we became closer and she would be around me and hang out with her and her family and all that, she was like, oh my gosh, the subtle prejudices that occur that we're used to, people don't see. And I think that still goes on today. And it has different genre. You see it in for women. I'm sure you've experienced it. The women's world, and then the man's world. And then now you break it down to the races and all that. But you know what? That's small-minded people.
Yeah.
So that's their problem, not mine. My focus is I know that everybody's the same. And the reason I know that they're the same, because in anatomy, when I did anatomy and dissecting, when the skin came off, I didn't have to learn a different anatomy. So that's how I knew everybody's the same.
I love that. That is so powerful. One of the things too, Dr. Rogers, and I love it that you've gone into functional medicine, but what, besides the fact that you had breast cancer, were you interested in functional medicine and anti-aging at all before that? Or was that the
But yeah,
real catalyst?
I started kind of dibbling into it and all that. And so I remember the first time I went to Dr. James Laval had the metabolic code. He got these people together. I don't even know how I got there in California. It was about 10 or 20 functional medicine doctors. And so I'm in here and I'm listening to them talk about these different triads, and it all made sense. But I had no clue what they were talking about. And so at lunchtime, I went in the bathroom and I cried. And because I felt like I had been bamboozled, I'm like, oh my gosh. So when I came back, he saw the tears. He was like, what's wrong? I said, I know this stuff's up, but this is not what we're taught. I have no clue. He says, no, 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 no. You can get this. You can understand it. And that was the segue. But we are not taught that whatsoever. And it was like, wow. And so the more that you keep learning, you know how people say you go down that rabbit hole, the more you learn, you see how incredible the body is. And it's always trying to heal itself. So that's what kept me just going and learning, learning. And I'm still learning, still learning. So what we learn is longevity. That's the lifespan, but you really want the health span. So we want to live longer, but we want to be active and have a quality of life while we do it.
What changes have you seen in yourself since you started focusing on this?
Oh my energy is like off the roof. And if you had seen my before pictures, I have before pictures where people don't even recognize. My own cousins was like, that's not the picture of Dr. Rogers. Like, yeah, she was 225 pounds, and yeah, and lots of changes, and not just for me, but for my patients and for my family. I have a younger sister she's drop dead gorgeous. You would think she's 20. She's probably down 100 and something pounds.
Wow.
And the thing about it is, it's not just losing the weight, it's getting your body and your metabolism back to where it was so that your cells do it for you. And it's easy and you feel good.
What do you think made the biggest difference in one of your patients? Is there some patient that you really have a great story about?
I just had one yesterday. I had my staff here. We were all crying. The lady came in about 3 months ago and she says, you can't help me. I've gone to everybody. It's been a year and a half. And her husband's like, honey, she's like, she can't. She was so withdrawn. I had never seen anybody like it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, when I help you, you'll have to be a spokesperson. She was like, but you can't help me, and I don't want to be here, but he's making me. So, okay. So that was about 3 months ago. She came in yesterday and I opened the door and said, how you doing? She goes, I am great. I was like, wow, is this the same person? I'm not sure if this is the same person or not. And where's your husband? She said, oh, he'll be in here. So he came in. She got up. She gave me a hug. I said, what do you think? He said, this is my wife. I want you to know the person you saw 3 months ago, that was not my wife, but this is my wife. And he gave me a hug. He said, you gave me my wife back. And I want to thank you. And then when she went to the front, she was telling my staff and later to my website, she was like, man, she saved my life. And I just didn't know it. And so here we are all crying. She's crying. We're crying. And I said, you know what? This one person makes all the other naysayers, it makes it all worthwhile.
Is that what you keeps you going? Is that what
Oh,
the stories like
absolutely.
this?
Because people are looking for hope. They've been told all these other different things, and it's okay if you don't know why. I don't have all the answers. The answers are within the body. So what do? You dig deeper until you find it. There's a reason, and it started somewhere. And all you got to do is dig and deep and listen to people.
When you go back to that 3-year-old child that you were when you decided you want to do this, did you have any idea that you would end up like this?
I had no clue. You don't. God puts things in you, and you don't understand it, and you just keep going, even if it gets hard. You don't understand it, but you have this desire, and you just keep doing it. I mean, if you had told me last year I'd have a national TV show, be a host, I'd be like, yeah, right. I
I
mean,
could,
and
yeah.
I'm still going, yeah, right. So I'm just gonna do whatever God has me to do, and I really believe. Auntie Maya said it, and I can see it now, and all the little things she used to tell me I didn't understand. But I think that I am doing what my God given purpose of what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to keep striving to help others to live their best life.
So who's your greatest role model?
Auntie Maya Angela.
Yeah. I can see that she really inspired you.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough when she wrote "I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings." She actually was in Wichita, Kansas, and she read that book every night at Wichita State. And
Wow.
my father was over minority studies, so she lived with us for that month. So that's where the relationship started and
Wow.
grew from there.
What a great experience you
Yeah.
had. I mean, that's amazing. Well,
God
I
put
am.
all the moving pieces in place for me.
Isn't it funny how things lead you?
I said, yes, he closes certain doors, opens certain. I said, man, you have a sense of humor.
Amen. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Dr. Rogers, thank you so much for making time to talk to us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was good to see you.
It's great to see you.
All right. Bye bye.
Coming up next, a comedian who tells us why laughter is the best medicine.
At Douglas Investment Group, we understand that managing wealth isn't just about numbers. It's about protecting what matters most to you. For high net worth families, we're more than advisors, we're your trusted partner. Douglas Investment Group, your financial sounding board for sound advice. Visit us today at www.douglasgroup.net or call 316 854 8495.
And now it's time for our Wisdom Warriors. And this is a segment where we talk to women and get their opinions, their experience, things that they love to share that will make aging a lot more fun. And let me tell you, our next interviewee definitely makes aging more interesting and fun. It's Heidi Clements, and is a podcaster, a writer. She does all sorts of things with humor. And Heidi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for saying I'm funny because sometimes I feel like I'm preaching.
No, you
Uh,
are never preaching. And I love it because I share so many things with my friends that I watch. And one of the things that I love is you kind of blend humor with raw truth. What role do you think humor plays in being able to tell the truth?
oh God, I think we have to laugh at the absurdity of everything because if we don't laugh at it, we're just doomed to be depressed all the time, you know? So I think you have to find the funny when you can, where you can, because that's the only way to get through some of the insanity that's happening around us at all times.
That is, I see, I have the same feeling you do when it comes to
Yeah.
that. How do you come up with your ideas? Some of them are just so creative and funny.
Thank you so much. Gosh, I'm just gonna stay on this podcast for the rest of my life.
You're welcome to.
I it's funny, I try to bank or, shoot ahead of time the outfits. And then in the morning, I just sit down at my computer and sometimes I've sent myself notes during the day of things that I want to write about or things that upset me or make me laugh and then I just write a little something. I sort of just see what comes out of my fingers and my brain. And, that's kinda really it. I think it's from sending myself notes throughout the day.
I love the fact that you kind of
I
have
talk to
some
myself.
real life. Yeah, I love that you're doing real life, real time things that you're
Yes,
getting
I do
across.
every morning. I write something fresh, almost every morning. I didn't po I posted, a collaboration today, but normally every morning I and for the first 2.5 years, I posted every single day, 7 days a week.
The one thing that I really think humor is able to do is to broach again subjects that maybe you can't discuss. But one, is there some misconception about aging that you would hope your humor will just break once and for all?
All of it. Just all of it. All of what we are sold about aging is just a fucking lie. You know, like we say all the time, it's a privilege to age, but it's more than that. It's just it's natural. Like it's still my first time here too. I didn't die at 30 something and then come back as an old woman with a whole different set of values. Like I'm still the same person that did all the same things in my 20s and 30s that you did. I just did it at a different time. It is my first time here. So for you to tell me that my first time here is awful after a certain age or that I don't matter after a certain age is just wrong. And so I think everything that's told to you by someone else is a lie because they're not living your life and only you know your truth. But you forget that when you hear from other people over and over, when it's drummed into your head that wrinkles are awful, that gray hair is horrible, that being, not perfectly skinny is horrible. Like all of these things are just, they're all lies.
And that's what I love about your humor because you really hammer that. And it does inspire me and uplift me too,
Good.
because
I'm glad.
I do realize the ridiculousness of it when I listen to you talk. And one of the things that I really like too is you also take time to talk about very serious subjects. Is there some other subject that you have addressed that really educated you too?
I mean, here's the thing. I say every day with every post that I am speaking to myself first. And so I think that's what has happened that has been such a beautiful sidebar to my social media story is that I have therapized myself. I have used my audience to help me like myself more, to accept myself more, to think I have something to say because I've been given permission from an entire group of, 2 million people to do that, to say what I have to say. And so it's been magical for me
And I
to
love it. And it's cheaper than therapy, actually.
it's cheaper and it's quicker.
That's true too. I didn't even
Like, it would have taken someone 10 years to get through some of the shit I found out from one post.
probably true. I love that. And
Yeah.
see, that's what I love
You
about
know
you.
yourself better than a therapist. You can lie to a therapist.
True. That is true. And you are spot on when it comes to that. Now, one of the things too, have you been funny your whole life?
I mean, I think I'm pretty funny, but
You
I
are.
don't know that everybody thinks I'm funny. I mean, humor has always been I've always been a comedy writer first. Humor is my way of dealing with everything.
So if
If
there's
you can laugh at it, you can fix it.
amen. That is absolute truth. I love that. Is there anything that you thought or were humorous about in your 30s that now you have changed your opinion on? And either
Yeah, my weight, my body. I wrote a book, 12 or 15 years ago, and I was definitely a different writer then than I am now. And I wrote a chapter about body dysmorphia that started with the line, the nicest thing you can say to me is you look anorexic. And I now know what a horrible thing that is to say and just how badly I suffer from body dysmorphia that I do think that's a funny thing to say. Because it's not, because I have a friend who suffers terribly from it. And writing about it, writing about her changed my opinion about how I used to feel.
well, and that's one of the things too. I think with wisdom comes grace and knowledge that we just didn't have when we were younger. We think
And
we
you
know it
can't,
all.
I say often, you can't cheat wisdom. So,
That's truth. Is there any advice that you give to women out there aside from quit buying into all these lies about the gray hair and the wrinkles and all that? Is there any other advice that you would give women
Yeah,
about?
don't be so hard on yourself. Just live your life. Like, you're not here to be judged. You're not here to judge every single thing you do. You're here to be a unique individual snowflake having a unique individual experience. And I think your only goal should be to leave better than you came. And everything outside of that should just be like, okay, well, I learned a lesson. You're just don't be so hard on yourself on your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It's part of your book. And it's just another chapter in the book of you.
Oh, that was powerful. I love that. If somebody wants to find you, what is the best way to find you and find all your great interviews and you do some short, really quick ones? And what's the best way to locate you?
Oh, all of my stuff is at Welcome to Heidi, whether it's my blog, it's my on Substack, it's my YouTube, it's my TikTok, it's my Instagram. Everything is at Welcome to Heidi. There's an email there. There's a PO box there. You name it. You can always find me. And I do read every comment and I do respond to every one. And I try to. And I do respond to every DM. Again, I try to. Some go missing.
Well, I'm going to be sure to reach out to you more often then. You are so busy. I just didn't even do it. But thank you for bringing laughter. Thank you for bringing wisdom. Thank you for all you do to kind of take away those misconceptions of aging.
Oh, well, thank you for wanting to chat with me.
Before we go, I want to leave you with a fierce and feisty final thought. One thing you can do every day that will help you feel a sense of accomplishment, even if you've had the worst day ever, is make your bed. That way it sounds simple, but that way at the end of the day, you did accomplish something, because sometimes you just feel like it's been a wasted day and you really didn't do anything. But when you return to your bedroom and the bed is made, you'll just feel better about it. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, or Google, well, you can also find us on YouTube. Please leave a positive review and share with your friends so they can benefit from this inspirational advice. And don't forget, you can find us on our website at Fierce, Feisty, and 50 Plus, and you can also find us at Facebook and Instagram. I'm Sierra Patricia Scott. Have a fierce and feisty day.
Thank you for listening. The views and opinions of this episode's guest and the host are not associated with nor reflect those of the University of South Florida. The podcast is produced by the Department of Journalism and Digital Communication at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. Executive producers are Elliot Weiser and Sierra Patricia Scott. Producer is Stephanie Broughton. Production assistant is Ariel Makis. The director is Christopher Campbell. And a special thank you to PBS Kansas. I'm Jamel Holoparik. Thank you for joining us.